So, what if you spun a wheel and it decides what game you should make? How would that even look like? Well, I opened a random wheel generator and we first had to see in what person our game should be in. And we have a first person type game, and I decided it's time to make my very first person shooter. I had to make a scene and our player, and that was done pretty quickly, and now we can move. We need a gun, and I found this M4. I colored it so it looks cool, kinda like it was some sort of a skin. Now we need to put it on our player here, and we have to make it shoot. Now every time we touch an object, the object name appears in the console, which means our shooting works. Now we need to make that bullet do damage, and now if we put a target script on whatever we want to shoot on, it will actually die in certain amount of shots. Now the most tedious part was making the particles. We needed a muzzle flash first, so I fired up the particle system and tried to make the best muzzle flash possible. And after some hours I ended up with this, which looks freaking awful. So then I decided, why not import the Unity's particle system, which is free and it has some particles that will look really cool in our game. And I think this looks okay. I didn't want to overthink the particles because there was so much more work to do. Currently our gun can shoot forever, and we obviously don't want that because what kind of game would that be? So we want to have some ammo and a reload animations. So I made a simple animation in Unity for reloading, and then when we shoot we can use up all the ammo, and this cool animation plays. And it was time to change up our scene because it looks really bad. So I made a scene with walls, and I decided, hey, I want a wall run. And at that point I thought to myself, why do I do this? I always do harder and harder stuff. I find that kind of fun. I also added this cool skybox now, and I obviously hate myself even more because I decided, why not make this a multiplayer game? This was my first time making a first-person shooter, but this is my first time making any multiplayer game ever. So it was fun. At first I thought making a multiplayer game is easy. It won't be that hard because you just use a package that someone else made. Well, I opted for Photon because, I don't know, it seemed like the most amount of players can get into it, and I think it won't be that hard, right? Right? So I downloaded Photon and I got to work. I was reading their documentation, and sooner than later it was kinda useless. I was completely stuck. At the first part of the documentation it was kind of easy. I first made a menu screen when you could type in your name and connect to the game. It all worked extremely well and it was explained in the documentation very well, and then I decided when it connects it should lead you to the map that I created. And that was pretty easy too because it's so general and easy to follow up on the documentation. But then the syncing. This took so much of my goddamn time. I even forgot to record some of it because I was so frustrated. At first didn't understand it, but now if you ask me, it's actually pretty goddamn simple. I don't know why didn't I figure that out earlier, but it took me good 3 days to get it going. But now we have, for the very first time, we can see our enemy move and the enemy can see us move. So it's perfect, it's going really well. Now we need to apply the same method to our gun script, where we can see the enemy shooting and where the enemy can shoot us and then we can die. That was pretty fun to make because I kind of understood that needs to be done. So then, to make a kind of indicator that you hit the player, I made some blood particles to make it even look a bit prettier. I also tried to make a restart scene, and I spent way more time than needed on this freaking thing. I wanted to send just the person who died to another scene, but that is extremely difficult. So then I decided to scrap everything and just make a canvas and stop the game, and it's gonna show what person won based on who killed who. All that is left now is to build a scene and then invite someone to play with and absolutely destroy them. I'll create a simple map with ProBuilder, so here it is. It's a simple map that I created really quickly, and now we put on some post-processing and then we're ready to go. Too bad I didn't have time to make player animations, maybe aiming, UI, and some more things. But at the end of the day, it is a simple little game that can be used as groundwork for a cool future multiplayer FPS game. The total score at the end was 3-1 to me. It's safe to say that I'm the ultimate gamer. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe. Also check out the Discord in the description. Bye.